All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like Stephen Jones and the Cowboys front office are going to be busy yet again as the Cowboys are being linked to 2 running backs in free agency, and actually, both of these guys. I would be glad for either one of these dudes to be on this team. Let's get right into the reports, but first, be sure to check out my link in the description below to bet with one of the most reputable sports books in the entire country. With the NFL preseason getting started, now is the best time to start warming up those betting chops and jump on the BetUS Sportsbook. No matter what types of bets you like to place, whether you like placing bets on the money line, the point spread, or just over-unders in general, you can do all of that on BetUS and more. Experience some of the fastest payouts in the industry and get a 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 by using my link in the description below today. Again, the football season's right around the corner and y'all gonna be betting on these games anyway, so might as well support the channel and support your pockets and bet with BetUS. Now let's get back to the news. In an excerpt from Jeremy Fowler's article for ESPN.com, he wrote, quote, "Cowboys will monitor the Ezekiel Elliott, Rico Dowdle, Royce Freeman experience, while keeping a short list of external options just in case. Carolina's Miles Sanders is on that list, and Dalvin Cook has shown interest in playing for Dallas." Now, some of you guys may remember, we actually reported about the Dalvin Cook interest last season. He started following notable Cowboys accounts over on X and really started to try and engage with the community, and it seems like he was gearing up for a career in Dallas. That trail went cold and we pretty much never heard anything else about it shortly before he signed with the Baltimore Ravens, and was used sparingly so. Now, if we take a look at the career comparisons for Miles Sanders and Dalvin Cook, you can actually see that both guys are actually pretty good runners of the football. Dalvin Cook for his career is averaging over 4.6 yards per rush. Miles Sanders for his career is averaging over 4.8 yards per rush. In addition to this, they both have been productive running backs throughout their careers. Prior to last season, the 5'10", 210-pound running back Dalvin Cook actually was able to enjoy 4 consecutive seasons of going over 1,100 plus yards rushing with the Minnesota Vikings before being tossed to the side in the mass exodus of running backs during the 2023 offseason. Look, I don't think that Dalvin Cook is nearly as washed as what the NFL wants you to believe. I just think that the NFL as a whole decided that they're not going to take chances on running backs, or they're not going to pay running backs unless you're just a transcendent guy. The NFL as a whole seemed like they decided they're not going to pay running backs premium value that's over a certain age anymore. And I think Dalvin Cook was a victim of bad timing here, because he was a part of that class of running backs that essentially got slapped in the face. But prior to this, Dalvin Cook was very productive as a running back. In fact, he never actually experienced a drop-off in his productivity while he was with the Minnesota Vikings. After he took over that lead dog role, Dalvin Cook's one of the better backs in the league, having 13 touchdowns one season and 16 touchdowns in another season. In his most recent season that was actually kind of successful, which was 2022, he had 1,100 rushing yards, close to 1,200, 8 touchdowns, and was helping out on the receiving side as well. So in total, he had about 1,500 yards on the season with double-digit touchdowns. And that was the last time that Dalvin Cook was actually putting someone's offense and giving a real chance. Last year, he started the season with the New York Jets and ended it with the Baltimore Ravens. The New York Jets, they have an embarrassment of riches right now as it pertains to running backs. I have no clue what they're doing. In fact, the Cowboys need to be keeping tabs on the Jets running back room, because there's no way they're getting through camp with all those dudes on their roster. That's just a waste at this point. But yeah, Dalvin Cook fell out of favor with the New York Jets and just really was trying to look for a home with the Ravens and make a playoff run. But I wouldn't mind him coming to the Cowboys at all. What's also interesting about Dalvin Cook is the fact that he's actually a pretty good running back out of the backfield. And we know that that's something that the Cowboys value with their running backs. Even in 2023, which was a down year for him, he had a 75% catch rate coming out the backfield. And just overall for his entire career, he has a close to a 77% catch rate, which means he's not dropping the ball and he's a reliable target coming out of the backfield as a running back in the passing game. And that's something else that the Cowboys could value. Now, taking a look at Miles Sanders, this is another very interesting option to me, and to be quite frank, I wouldn't mind either one of these two guys. Both of these running backs were Pro Bowl guys at one point in their career, and both of them were extremely productive going back to 2022. Both experienced down years in 2023, but if you look at the situations that they were in, Miles Sanders being with the Carolina Panthers, did anything go well for the Panthers last season? Not really. Dalvin Cook not really having a home, being tossed aside by Minnesota at the 11th hour and kind of leaving him in a bad position because he got probably some bad advice from his agent trying to get too much money from Minnesota. So neither one of these guys had favorable situations in 2023. So it's really hard to look at 2023 instantly and be like, oh, these guys are washed. In fact, I think that's what the most casual fan is probably going to do, is look at their most recent season and think that they're terrible players. But I think the more reliable thing to do is look at these guys when they've actually been given a fair sample size to judge from, and both of these guys have been productive players. So I think that this right here is right on the money as far as what the Cowboys may need. And look, I get it, man. You want a youth experience on the Cowboys. You want to go to draft and develop route, and you don't want to have too many guys on your roster that are from outside of your program. I get it. But the running back room, we don't need an injection of youth in the running back room. We need experienced guys who can tote that rock and still can be productive for what we're trying to do. And having a running back room consisting of the likes of an Ezekiel Elliott and a Dalvin Cook and a Rico Dowdle or something like that, I feel much better with a running back room consisting of one of those guys, whether it be Dalvin Cook or Miles Sanders, versus having a running back room where I'm looking at Malik Davis or Deuce Vaughn or even a Hunter Lepke, someone that's supposed to be a large contributor in that running back room. So if we're going to go running back by committee, bring proven guys in that you know exactly what you're going to get from them. You know what to expect, and you actually know how to best use them. That was the problem to me for Hunter Lepke and Deuce Vaughn, is the Cowboys last season just didn't even know, they didn't have a real plan of how to use either one of those guys. Now, Hunter Lepke, apparently, he's been having a good camp, and they have a lot of plans for him as far as involving him more in his offense, and something tells me that he's going to be using two back sets as a blocking back and as a lead blocker coming out of the backfield. But guys like a Deuce Vaughn or Malik Davis, hey man, give me Miles Sanders or Dalvin Cook any day. We trying to win ball games, ladies and gentlemen, and the more reliable ball carriers we can have in that running back room, especially at a discounted rate, which both of these guys would probably be discounts, the better. So let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think about Miles Sanders or Dalvin Cook potentially coming to the Cowboys? And again, appreciate BetUS for sponsoring this particular video. Same old Cowboys.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Hey! I'm still them boys.